Okay, so only the final remaining, and let's see what the situation is. So we have Superduck playing Greyjoy Fealty, just got through in a marathon game against Alex's Martell Knights of the Hollow Hill, and we have Neil on the other side playing Tyrell Crossing. He's won his game about an hour ago against Marcel's Tyrell, the Reigns of Castamere. So, two very strong players, and should be an interesting final, and I'm thinking much quicker than the games we saw just now. And let's see if the players are ready to start. Also a Champions of Westeros game going on. That's yeah, getting close to the final stages now. Next week we'll have the final round of Swiss. It will be over 2 weeks because of Stalek, so 2 weeks have been joined together for round 6, and then the cut starts immediately, so hopefully we can bring you some of those games as well. And I'm guessing Superduck needs a short break now after that game, and we'll bring you the final shortly. Let me just see again if there's anyone who would like to commentate. Okay, we can have a quick look at this event. So Tyrell seems to be the top deck at the moment. All the factions represented, but Tyrell with the most players, and in the cut as well. Playing, to be fair, not all playing the same Randall Tarly deck, so I'm sure that was the plan with the Many-Faced God and probably the Summer deck, but the others a bit different. Reigns certainly was quite unique in yeah, those weird cards with Mattis Rowan and the Alton Golden Grow loop that we see a lot in Randall Tarly decks, but it's done in a slightly different way in that deck, so that's quite interesting. And we have some of the Knight stuff played in the Crossing deck, and I'm guessing this is Knights or King's Guards as well, maybe a bit more focus on Shadows in Tyrell Lion. And yeah, with Stalek coming up, it should be close to 200 players. I'm thinking it might look something similar with a lot of Tyrell entries, so decks that can deal with those will be successful. Others might struggle. Then again, could be getting that completely wrong. Still hasn't started yet. Yeah, so we have some events this week in the warm-up. You see this one in Barcelona. It's some familiar names here. One by Greyjoy, Fool's deck, interesting. That can be extremely fast, so that's one option. And we have one in Chile. Let's see what the field is there. So this one maybe not going to be that cutthroat with all people going for that Tyrell deck, so yeah, more diverse here. Nice to see 20 people gathered for this one. Greyjoy doing well here as well at the moment, but there is a Tyrell Many-Faced God. And a small event in Germany as well. That was won by that infamous deck. So that's where we are at the moment, I guess, in this game. And if it's hugely successful at Stalek, I think we might see a restricted list update then immediately after the tournament to deal with some of the problems that deck presents, mainly I think, okay, Randall Tarley just triggering like crazy in every phase is one thing, but wrong opponent I think. But the passive power, just with a bunch of Old Town triggers with the help of Golden Grove, is the most difficult thing to deal with, I think. Of course, you have the Wardens of the Reach with 16 strength and stuff like that, but I guess I would say that's a more fair part of the deck that you can try to play around. So this is the game we'll be watching. I think it's past midnight in China now. And Superduck has been playing from the Swiss stage, hasn't he? So, right from morning time in Europe. Alright, and we are about to start. So, who's winning this one? I think it's going to be a table stunt now compared to the game we just saw. Because this time Tyrell is the fast deck. And if it doesn't close quickly, then Greyjoy gets stronger and stronger. Never a good sign when you see the first thing that happens when players connect immediately. Click the mulligan. Must be a really bad hand. Two card setup. Not taking a mulligan, interesting. Could be a location and another character. No locations, okay. Euron with his buddy Eric, who is a raider of course. And we have the Queen of Thorns and Unlikely Champion. So we had the Queen of Thorns call earlier with the Iron Throne in one game. And I was wondering which one it was, so it's the one that fetches events. Interesting. I wouldn't have called it myself unless I saw her earlier. Being in the deck, I wouldn't think, okay, Tyrell Crossing is playing this. Very strong card in ladies decks. She can grab events that are really fast, like All Men Are Fools, or of course the draw one as well. Is that the draw one? What's the draw one? 6 maids in a pool and superior claim, stuff like that. So I guess in this deck with more knights present, could be searching for Lady Sansa's Rose. And we have Bran the Builder against the Maiden. Now if Nico could somehow with this plot go first in rounds, I think that would help him. Otherwise Euron with his Intimidate and for sure is going to grab his stand ship, could cause problems. Maiden's Bane, so anything you don't defend immediately is problematic because he stands and does another challenge with his 3 icons in Intimidate, so if there's no answer to this, it's a problem. And no locations on either side, interesting. Well, no economy, I should say. This is going to try to stop you on standing. And I'm guessing he's going to try to stop Eric standing because he can do a similar thing. And Queen of Thorns triggers, so she discards off to Galtown and searches for Lady Sansa's Rose. And also plays Growing Strong to win the challenge. That also stops Bran the Builder. And it might stop Bran the Builder in most challenges here, if he just decides to defend and forget his own plan to win 3 challenges with crossing. And is he going to defend here? Because this is one he can win by 5 with Lady Sansa's Rose. Do we have a cancel? We do not. That's some quick power, but he is unprotected. And at least this one should go through, shouldn't it? For that one. Bran the Builder's search. Now what's it taking? Is it taking economy, expecting a slightly longer game? Or is it just going to take silence? Of course it's not a deck search, so you take what you can get, and it takes economy. And dominance. Well, protected Euron. One character that is already permanently knelt, whatever happens. And 2 quite important characters unprotected on the other side. Do you risk it here? Not expecting to see much in the way of locations or attachments. And Beacon of the South, that's not one you see often. Okay, stacking power on characters might not be what Nico is looking for in this game. And yes, he does pull the trigger on Morghulis just to kill the Knight of Flowers. He's going to take some tempo hit with that, of course. No econ, so okay, I was going to say either need some claim soak or to successfully defend with Euron against whatever comes into play, but okay. Eric stays in play. And the other guy as well. Never mind. So that worked out pretty okay. But I think my memory not really that great. Yeah, we don't know what Nico is playing actually in the resets. I think Marcel played Morghulis in the other game, didn't he? So it's a bit of a mystery. Greyjoy playing without economy. Still gets a big board just with the 2 saves and a free trigger. A weaker deckhand. Pretty decent. And yeah, he was going to be intimidated, so what's the logic in passing challenges here? Could have just done the military challenge. I guess it's the same thing, it's just successfully defended by one of them. So things have quite quickly turned around with that start. Starting with 2 reasons in hand. So now I think the question for the near future is, what kind of a plot deck does Nico have here? With 2 reasons gone and no dupes in play, can he take advantage? Imagine even having the stranger here. So Superduck would be forced to choose 2 and all of these would die and Nico could choose 6. So that would be a tremendous reset. In theory, of course, I'm not saying he's playing it because Knight's deck is not going to play the stranger, is it? Had some spikes against Bran the Builder. Hits Victarion, can't complain. Some free power and one of the more annoying characters gone. And here comes some board. And that plan I was talking about, to win initiative and go first, to bypass Euron, now going pretty decently for Nico. So Marjorie also is a good character here. She can just force him into a challenge, and then he's not going to go crazy with Maiden's Bane. Now what do we have here? Do we have Asha or Balon also available? We do. So problem remains. You get rid of one, but you still have the other Tricon. Okay, he's going to get rid of Asha. She would refill the hand. Now he can do all 3 challenges for the crossing trigger and there will be nothing to intimidate, but he's giving away 3 unopposed to Euron in that situation. Greyjoy is on 6. Okay, Knight of Flowers already dead, not a good pillage, but we have Sea Tower, so some much needed economy taken with Bran the Builder, and Asha also can grab something. And now the prospect of resetting back, not looking that amazing anymore. It's going to grab another one. And is he prepared to defend the power? I should think that he will probably leave this one unopposed. Then try to do the 3 challenges back. And then That's the unopposed and the crossing trigger and superior claim danger. That's up to 9. Up to 10 even with the renown. Yeah, I said this would be a quicker game, and we're about to see Greyjoy getting up there as well with the 3 unopposed and dominance, so I think Greyjoy will be ahead after 3 rounds. No gold for this one would have been a nice card. Just to stop Maiden's Bane. Well, we had Winter Festival, we had Heads on Spikes, and crossing decks do like those plots, so I'm guessing one of those two could have a second copy. If it's Heads on Spikes, it's difficult to beat it in initiative in combination with the Maiden, so Nico could be going first, and if the plot hits, and then he can do challenges with Renown again, he is within range. If he has Winter Festival, then it's much more difficult to win initiative with that. We could see something like Nothing Burns that beats it. Okay, taking the dupe. He wasn't going to reset even if he had Morghulis at this point, because of the 7 cards against 3. And now I think we are heading into the final round. Because the players are not messing around, they're gathering power extremely quickly. Oh, okay. Surprise, surprise, we have Duel. That's going to incapacitate both characters here. It's going to kneel one and kill the other, so if there's silence in hand, it's for sure going to kneel Euron. Well, that's an amazing plot in this matchup. Interesting choice. If you're playing against that Randall Tarley many-faced god deck, then I think you are not getting value out of that, are you? Is there another high coster there? I don't think so. So, interesting inclusion, and definitely strong one in this game. However, Superduck does go first with some gold. I'm just checking the plot, so yeah, not anything great that he can take. And we have a non-kneeler with Renown. If there's no king, and I'm guessing there won't be one, the only chance would be Renly. Or the king attachment, I guess. So even with that setback, I think this is decent enough here for Superduck. He's on 10. Maybe not enough to get to 15 though. Knights of the Rich, so that can gain power for a lady if you have her, and you do. And the bodyguard to absorb claim. Alright, so now I think we'll see Superduck think for a bit. Okay, he can do the military because he's not kneeling, so that's a free challenge. But after that, what does he do? Because if he can't get to 15, there's a big threat that Nico could. Then you might need to keep your Baron standing with his power icon. However, she can just force him into an intrigue challenge, can't she? Or maybe this guy could do intrigue and he's guaranteed to win alone. That's 11. Power with renown would be 13. It's not quite enough. Okay, so whatever you do, you don't concede superior claim. That's the one way in which opponent could win. I was going to say, okay, so unopposed power and renown gets him to 14. That's very dangerous. And of course he's going to stand now. Alright. So now Marjorie also needs to be careful if she puts him into a challenge. Can't let him win with those two Ironfleet scouts. Wonder if it may have been better just to defend. Well, depends if he can get to 15. I don't think he has a realistic chance, but let's see. So let's say he wins a power challenge and Garland gets renown and there is a crossing trigger. That's 3 power. That would be 11. So he would need to gain other stuff with unopposed and events. And this trigger, of course. Is there anything else that Superduck can do? I guess the plot is the one trigger he has. He has 2 characters here that have the same icon, so but he might just wait with that, because the only thing he can do is to take the King's Road or this, which doesn't help him. He will have his opportunity no way that Nico is passing here, so and now how do you approach this? You have to get rid of Balon. Takes the King's Road. So if you attack in the... yeah. Okay, doing this one first, so that's going to be unopposed with power for Marjorie. And then both of them can do power. for 6. Pull Balon in. That will increase Marjorie's strength by 1, so it will be 7-5, but the Ironfleet Scouts. Nico needs more tricks, needs an event in hand, I think. It was the same situation if she pulled him into the intrigue challenge, of course. He still has too much strength. So that's what I think. If he just opposed earlier with one character to stop the Maiden's Bane, might have worked out a little bit better. Although, of course, could be tricks on the other side as well, something like Kraken's Grasp. Okay, so he's going for it, which means he must have something. Well, if he doesn't, he loses anyway with dominance, so growing strong or nightmares? Nope, no answer. Yeah. Well, duel with Euron and Asha in play, and still was not quite enough. Balon was too strong on his own. Okay, incredible misplay. Now I wonder what that was. I guess something in this sequence, maybe letting Balon stand with Maiden's Bane. If he defended, so would be 13 power because it would be opposed, and then Balon would be knelt, and presumably Garland or Marjorie, one of those two, would also be knelt, and then you can swing back, get your power for Knights of the Reach and get the power claim, but no way to do crossing, I don't think. Unless, of course, there was also with this location a chance to do some kind of Lady Sansa's Rose again. Guess we'll never know. So, well done to Superduck. I think that's the third time that the Friendly Open title for a season has gone to China now. And this time it's Greyjoy. Still going strong. Even after 2 restricted lists that have targeted it somewhat after the World Championship. And yeah, let's have a look. Let's get this updated so that we can show you our champion. And here we are. So Superduck takes Season 8 of the Friendly Open Series. So we'll have Stalek coming up, and then of course the ending of the Champions of Westeros tournament and the team regionals still being played. So lots of stuff happening, and I guess we can then look forward to Season 9 of the Friendly Open, which should come sometime, I guess, at the beginning of the next year. I would guess. Nothing has been decided yet. Yeah, so there we are. Thanks everyone for joining me today, and hope to see you next time as well. Bye bye.